Qur'an reality. The man who tried to cheat Allah and was swallowed by the earth. In every generation, there are stories that shake the human heart. Stories that warn, stories that guide, stories that remind us that Allah's power has no limits and His justice never sleeps. But among these stories, one stands apart. A story of a man who thought he was untouchable. A man whose wealth blinded him, whose pride destroyed him, and whose arrogance made him believe he could cheat Allah. His name was Qārūn, a man who once walked among the righteous, a man blessed with treasures so vast that even the strongest men struggled to carry the keys to his wealth. A man who rose from the community of Musa, yes, yet allowed gold to become his god, his pride, his poison. Qārūn believed his riches made him powerful. He believed his wealth could rewrite truth. He believed he could deceive a prophet, manipulate a community, and escape the watchful eye of the Almighty. But he forgot one thing. No one escapes Allah. In this documentary, we uncover the rise and fall of Qārūn, the man who tried to cheat Allah, the man who mocked divine guidance, the man who thought his gold would save him, until the earth itself opened beneath his feet. This is not just a story from ancient times. It is a warning for every soul today, for the proud, the corrupt, the arrogant, and the ones who believe power comes from themselves and not from their Creator. So before we begin this journey, my brothers and sisters, I need something from you. Like this video, so it reaches more people. Comment your thoughts as you watch. Your engagement spreads the message. Share this documentary with someone who needs to remember the reality of Allah's justice. And subscribe to Wisdom from the Minbar so you never miss these Quranic realities and powerful lessons again. I am your brother, Mallam JIJI, and today we enter the world of a man swallowed not only by the earth, but swallowed by his own arrogance. Let us begin. The rise of Qārūn, when wealth becomes a test. Before the earth ever opened beneath his feet, before arrogance drowned his heart, before his name became a warning for generations. Qārūn was simply a man from the community of Prophet Musa. Yes, Qārūn was an outsider. He wasn't a stranger. He was from Bani Israel, living among the very people who were blessed by Allah, guided by prophets, and protected by miracles. He knew revelation. He saw signs. He witnessed truth. But Qārūn wanted something more. He wanted the world. The early days, when Qārūn was just like everyone else. In the beginning, Qārūn wasn't wealthy. He wasn't powerful. He wasn't admired. He was simply an ordinary man with ordinary means. Some narrations say he was even known for his beautiful recitation of the Torah, a gifted voice, a spiritual presence. But something began to grow inside him. A seed, a desire, a hunger for more than faith, more than piety, more than being a follower. Qārūn wanted to rise. He wanted status. He wanted admiration. He wanted people to look at him the way they looked at leaders and kings. Allah opens doors, a test begins. Then came the day when Allah blessed him, but not with a small blessing, not with a gentle test, but with a mountain of wealth. The Qur'an describes his treasure chest so massive that the keys alone were too heavy for a group of strong men to carry. Imagine that. If the keys to his safes needed multiple men, what do you think the treasures looked like? Chests of gold, bars of silver, gems, pearls, ornaments, clothes embroidered with luxury, a house overflowing with riches. He had everything a human heart desires, and everything a weak heart fears, because wealth is a double-edged sword. In the hands of the faithful, it becomes charity, mercy, and reward. In the hands of the arrogant, it becomes fire. The turning point, when wealth changes a man. Slowly, Qārūn's heart began to shift. His prayers became shorter. His charity became smaller. His obedience faded. His arrogance grew. People noticed the change. He walked differently. He spoke differently. He looked at people with a gaze that said, "You need me, I don't need you." His home became a palace. His clothes became robes of pride. His gatherings became filled with flatterers who worshipped his wealth, not Allah. Qārūn starts believing his own illusion. The greatest corruption of wealth is not in the gold. It's in the ego. Qārūn started believing that he earned everything. that he built his empire, that he alone created his success. He looked at Musa, the prophet, the leader, the guide, and Qārūn felt resentment. How could Musa be respected when Qārūn was richer? How could people follow revelation when Qārūn held the keys to power? A dangerous illness enters the heart. Arrogance is a disease that takes over slowly. Qārūn became addicted to praise. He loved hearing people gasp at his gold. He loved seeing their jealous faces. He loved being the man who owned what no one else had. But the Qur'an warns us, indeed, man transgresses when he thinks himself self-sufficient. 96:6-7. Qārūn was no longer just proud of his wealth. He felt he didn't need Allah anymore. His heart separated from the one who gave him everything. And this was the beginning of his destruction. The stage is set for his fall. In this chapter, we witnessed how Qārūn rose from an ordinary believer to a man drowned in wealth. But this rise was only the first step, because arrogance leads to corruption. Corruption leads to oppression, and oppression leads to divine justice. Qārūn's heart was changing, and soon his actions would follow. Next, he would reject advice, reject truth, reject Musa, and try to cheat Allah. And that is when the true disaster begins. When wealth becomes a god. Qārūn's arrogance and his attempt to cheat Allah. Qārūn's wealth did not just fill his home. It began to fill his heart. And once the heart is full of dunya, there is no space left for Allah. This chapter reveals how Qārūn's arrogance grew so dangerously that he believed he could outsmart divine law, deceive Musa, and even cheat Allah himself. The disease of self-worship. At first, Qārūn simply enjoyed his wealth. But soon, he worshipped it. His gold became his pride. His position became his identity. His influence became his god. He walked the streets like a king. Crowds parted for him. People whispered his name. Others envied him. And Qārūn loved every second of it. But deep inside, something else grew. A silent, poisonous belief. I'm untouchable. He believed blessings were not from Allah. He believed he created his own success. When people warned him, do not exult, Allah does not love the arrogant. He laughed at them. When they advised him, use your wealth to earn the hereafter, he mocked them. And when they told him, Allah blessed you, be grateful, he declared proudly, I was given all this because of my own knowledge. Qur'an 28:78. This single sentence exposes the deepest corruption of his soul. He erased Allah from the equation. The more he got, the more he wanted. Arrogance never satisfies. Pride never rests. Greed never ends. Qārūn wanted more wealth, more status, more praise. He began manipulating business deals. He inflated prices. He exploited the weak. He hid portions of his earnings to avoid charity. He twisted laws to his benefit. He wanted to appear generous while giving nothing. He wanted to seem pious while disobeying everything. But the worst part was yet to come. Qārūn's envy of Musa, behind Qārūn's smile was envy. Behind his wealth was insecurity. He couldn't understand how Musa, a prophet with simple clothes and no riches, was more loved, respected, and followed than him. How could Musa, hold spiritual authority, while Qārūn held worldly power? This jealousy boiled inside him. It turned to resentment. It turned to anger. And finally, it turned to hatred. Qārūn wanted to destroy Musa, not just embarrass him, destroy him completely. The plot begins, trying to cheat Allah. Qārūn gathered his inner circle, men who worshipped him for his wealth, and he said, we must bring down Musa. We must expose him. But how do you expose a prophet? How do you attack a man whose character is pure, whose guidance is from Allah, whose truth is flawless? Qārūn believed he had found a way, a disgusting, evil way. He paid a woman, known for her weaknesses, to falsely accuse Musa, of indecency. He prepared the crowd. He planned the accusation. He rehearsed the moment. The goal? To destroy Musa's reputation, to divide the community, to turn people against Allah's prophet. Qārūn believed he could cheat the system, cheat the law, cheat the people, and cheat Allah. He believed lies could overpower revelation. He believed money could bury truth. He believed he could escape consequences forever. But he miscalculated one thing. Allah has already seen every intention in his heart. And the one who sees everything catches everything. The scene is set for exposure. The day arrived. People gathered. Qārūn stood tall, smiling confidently. The woman stood beside him, ready to lie. The community prepared to witness what they thought would be Musa's humiliation. Qārūn believed this was the moment he would rise higher than a prophet. Instead, it became the moment that sealed his destruction. Because when the truth is from Allah, no lie can stand against it. The arrogance that destroyed him when pride becomes a disease. My people, listen carefully. Chapter 3 is where the story turns dark, dangerous, and deeply real. Because this is the part where the heart of Qārūn's corruption is exposed. Not in his wealth, but in his arrogance. Allah did not punish Qārūn because he was rich. He punished him because wealth entered his heart so deeply that he forgot who gave it to him. Let us walk through this slowly, so you feel every lesson. 1. Arrogance begins with a thought. At first, Qārūn simply felt special. He looked at his mansions, his keys, his horses, his servants, and he whispered to himself, I deserve this. Not Alhamdulillah. Not Allah blessed me. Not I must give back. But I earned this. I am better than these poor people. No one can tell me what to do. This is how arrogance begins. One private thought you refuse to correct. Shane whispers it. The heart likes it. And slowly, a human being becomes blind. 2. When advice feels like insult. Allah sent people, wise people from Banu Israel, to warn him. Do not be arrogant. Do good with what Allah gave you. Allah does not love those who are boastful. They didn't insult him. They didn't shame him. They advised him with humility. But Qārūn's disease was already inside his chest. He replied with the most dangerous sentence in all of Qur'anic history. I got this wealth only because of my own knowledge. This is the root of all arrogance. My brother, my sister, when you think your success is because you are smart, when you think your house is because you are clever, when you think your business is because you are skilled, you begin to sound like Qārūn without realizing it. 3. The walk of pride. Qārūn now walked through the streets like a king. He displayed his wealth intentionally. People looked at him and said, we wish we had what Qārūn has. And Qārūn loved it. He smiled when people envied him. He enjoyed being admired. This is a warning. If your joy comes from people envying you, you are walking the path of Qārūn. 4. The scholars break the illusion. Then the scholars, the people of true knowledge, responded, do not be deceived. Allah gives wealth to whom he wills, and he takes it from whom he wills. But Qārūn didn't just reject advice. He mocked it. Arrogance transforms advice into insult. It makes truth sound like attack. It makes humility feel like weakness. He did not just close his ears. He hardened his heart. 5. The turning point, when wealth blinds the soul. Qārūn reached a level where he didn't thank Allah. He didn't help the poor. He didn't fear consequences. He didn't see beyond his palace walls. He didn't recognize signs. He didn't believe he could fall. This is the danger of wealth without faith. It convinces a human being that he is untouchable. But no one is untouchable from Allah. 6. Modern lessons. Qārūn lies again today. Today we have people who brag about cars they can't afford. People who post money online for validation. People who insult others for being poor. People who think wealth equals greatness. People who forget Allah the moment they taste success. All of these are reflections of Qārūn. Qārūn is not just a man. It is a mindset, and anyone can fall into it. 7. The hidden mercy. Even at this stage, Allah did not punish Qārūn immediately. Why? Because Allah gives space. Space to think. Space to repent. Space to turn back. Space to soften the heart. But Qārūn took that space as permission. He used the delay to grow worse. And when arrogance reaches its peak, the fall becomes inevitable. And that fall is coming. The day of the parade, when Qārūn tried to challenge Allah. My people, listen closely. Because chapter 4 is the moment when arrogance transforms into rebellion, and rebellion transforms into a challenge to Allah himself. This was the day Qārūn thought he owned the world. Let's walk inside that day and witness the disaster that arrogance brings. 1. The day Qārūn chose to show off. There came a morning when Qārūn decided, today the world will see my glory. He wasn't going out for charity. He wasn't going out to thank Allah. He wasn't going out to serve the poor. He was going out for one purpose, to make people admire him. He ordered his servants to prepare the horses, polish the gold, decorate the garments, and open the treasure vaults so he could walk with keys. That required strong men just to carry. This was the day of the parade of pride. 2. The people were shocked by his display as he marched through the streets, clothed in gold, surrounded by guards, covered in jewels, riding on the finest animals. The people gasped. Some wished to be like him. Some admired him. Some envied him. And this is exactly what Qārūn wanted. But listen carefully. Admiration from people does not mean admiration from Allah. Sometimes the thing you praise is the very thing that will destroy you. 3. The believers spoke, a voice of reason among the noise. Among the crowd were people of true understanding. These were believers whose hearts were attached to Allah. They said, woe to you! What Allah has is better for those who believe and do righteous deeds. They reminded people, don't be deceived by wealth. Don't chase glitter. Don't envy someone Allah does not love. But Qārūn's arrogance blocked him from hearing the truth. When the truth doesn't enter the heart begins to rot. 4. Qārūn's final act of arrogance, the sin that sealed his fate. What did Qārūn do next? He waited for praise. He expected applause. He looked at the people and said with his eyes, bow to my greatness. Look at what I built. Look at what I earned. Look at who I am. But he forgot one thing. Allah sees the intentions. Allah hears the whispers. Allah knows what is hidden in the chest. And Qārūn's heart was full of corruption. He wasn't just proud. He believed he was superior to Allah's decree. That is the moment his punishment was sealed. 5. Modern reflection. Qārūn's parade still happens today. Today, people do the same thing Qārūn did. Posting wealth online to be admired. Showing off cars, houses, clothes. Making others feel small. Acting like their success is self-made. Forgetting Allah when money enters their pockets. We live in a world where showing off is normal, and humility is rare. But what did Allah say? Allah does not love the arrogant show-offs. Every time a human being displays wealth just to impress, they are repeating the parade of Qārūn. 6. The warning before the punishment. Before Allah punishes, he warns. But Qārūn ignored every warning. He ignored the scholars. He ignored the believers. He ignored the needy. He ignored the wisdom. He ignored his own conscience. He ignored Allah's signs. He believed nothing could happen to him. He forgot that when Allah decides to punish, he does not need angels. He does not need armies. He does not need storms. Allah can punish with the simplest of creation, the earth beneath your feet. And that is what is coming next. 7. The cliffhanger, the ground begins to move. As Qārūn completed his parade of pride, something began to shake. A vibration, a rumble, a trembling under the ground. People heard it. Animals felt it. The earth responded. Qārūn looked around confused. No one imagined that beneath the beautiful parade, the punishment had already begun. The ground was preparing to open. The earth was preparing to swallow. The story was reaching its climax. The earth opens. Allah's justice descends on Qārūn. My brothers and sisters, if every chapter before this was a warning, then this chapter is the consequence. This moment, the moment when Allah's justice strikes, is one of the most terrifying scenes in the entire Qur'an. Let us step into that moment and feel the power of Allah that no human arrogance can challenge. 1. The ground trembles beneath Qārūn's feet. Qārūn had just finished his parade. His chest was filled with pride. His heart was swollen with arrogance. His lips smelled of self-praise. But Allah's decision had already come. The first sign was the trembling of the earth. The ground shifted. A vibration ran through the stones. People stepped back in fear. Animals panicked. Children cried. The wealthy entourage froze in shock. Qārūn looked around and said, "What is happening?" But deep down, he knew, too. No warnings, no angels, no escape. When Allah punishes, He does not need to announce it. He does not send a letter. He does not send a messenger. He does not give time to run. He simply says, "Be," and it is. The earth beneath Qārūn cracked open. The ground tore like fabric. Dust erupted into the sky. The land split into a deep, dark gap. This was not a natural disaster. This was purpose. This was divine precision. This was justice from the Creator. 3. Qārūn is swallowed, the beginning of the end. The ground gave way, and Qārūn fell. He grabbed the edges. He screamed. He called for help. He begged the people who used to praise him. But no one could help him. No one even dared to go near. No wealth could save him. No guards could protect him. No status could defend him. Then, the Qur'an says, "We caused the earth to swallow him and his home." Not just him. Not just his palace. Not just his possessions. Everything connected to his arrogance was dragged underground. The earth consumed him, like a man swallowing a seed. 4. His followers could only watch in horror. Those who once wished to be like him. Those who admired his wealth. Those who envied his lifestyle. They stood frozen. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Moments earlier, Qārūn walked like a king. Now, he disappeared like dust. And they said, "Indeed, Allah gives wealth to whom He wills, and He takes it from whom He wills." The illusion shattered. Reality returned. And envy died in their hearts. 5. The lesson Allah wanted the world to see. Allah could have punished Qārūn privately. He could have made him ill. He could have destroyed his wealth quietly. But Allah chose a punishment that the entire world would remember. Why? To show that wealth is not a sign of Allah's love. Poverty is not a sign of Allah's anger. Arrogance destroys blessings. Pride invites punishment. No human can challenge the authority of the Creator. This is not just a story. It is a mirror. Because many today walk with Qārūn's pride, showing off money, boasting of success, mocking believers, thinking they own their future. Allah is reminding us, the same earth you walk on can swallow you at any time. 6. Qārūn's name becomes a warning forever. After Qārūn vanished, people returned home shaken. The news spread across the community. His palace was gone. His treasures were gone. His name was ruined. He became a symbol, a warning, a story every generation would repeat. Even today, some languages use the word Qārūn to describe extreme wealth. But his legacy is not wealth. It is arrogance punished. Allah kept his story alive, so we never forget what pride can cost. 7. The scene ends, but the lesson continues. The dust settled. The ground sealed. Silence returned. But the world had witnessed something unforgettable. A man who tried to cheat Allah. A man who believed his wealth made him untouchable. A man who mocked divine guidance was destroyed by the ground he walked on. This is the climax of the story. But it is not the end, because what happened after is another powerful lesson. Lessons for the world. Qārūn's story today. My brothers and sisters, the earth has swallowed Qārūn. His treasures are gone. His arrogance is buried, and his story lives forever. But why does Allah preserve this story in the Qur'an? Why is it recited across generations? Because it is not merely history. It is guidance. It is a warning. It is a mirror in which every human being can see themselves. 1. Wealth is a test, not a reward. Qārūn had everything: gold, silver, palaces, servants. But all of it became his destruction. Allah gives wealth to test the heart, not to inflate the ego. If your wealth makes you arrogant, if it makes you ignore Allah, if it blinds you from helping the needy, then your blessings are a trap. And Qārūn's story proves it. Lesson: value wealth, but let it never replace faith. 2. Arrogance is the root of destruction. Qārūn's fall did not begin with money. It began with the thought that he was self-sufficient. Arrogance is like a poison. It hides behind confidence. It disguises itself as pride. It convinces you that you are untouchable. The Qur'an warns us. Indeed, Allah does not love the arrogant boastful. 28:76-77. If arrogance enters the heart, even the greatest wealth can become your grave. 3. No one can cheat Allah. The most important lesson of all. Qārūn tried to cheat Allah. He tried to hide wealth. He tried to manipulate people. He thought lies could overpower truth. But Allah sees everything. No treasure can protect you. No influence can save you. No trick can escape him. Every human being, young or old, rich or poor, must remember, you cannot cheat your Creator. 4. Modern reflections. What Qārūn teaches us today. Look around in our world today. Those who flaunt wealth on social media. Those who mock the poor. Those who exploit workers or cheat in business. All of them are walking the path of Qārūn, and all of them can learn from his fate. Wealth is a blessing, but arrogance is a curse. 5. Patience, humility, and gratitude. The Qur'an tells us repeatedly, give charity even when it hurts. Remain humble even when praised. Remember Allah even when rich. Help others even when powerful. Qārūn ignored these principles. We must embrace them. This is the true victory over the temptation of wealth. 6. Qārūn's story as a reminder. Even after thousands of years, Qārūn's story remains relevant. Wealth can build or destroy. Arrogance can elevate or bury. Faith is the only thing that protects you from the world and the hereafter. Every time you see someone flaunting wealth or pride, remember Qārūn. Every time you feel tempted to trust yourself instead of Allah, remember Qārūn. Every time you are blessed, give thanks, give charity, stay humble, so you do not become the next cautionary tale. 7. Closing reflection. My brothers and sisters, Qārūn's story is a mirror. It reflects the dangers of pride, the fleeting nature of wealth, and the certainty of Allah's justice. As believers, let us learn to be humble in prosperity, to be patient in hardship, to fear Allah in secret and in public, to understand that true power belongs only to Allah. May Allah protect us from the arrogance of Qārūn. May He guide our hearts to gratitude, humility, and service. And may we always remember that no treasure can outweigh the love and fear of Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, the story of Qārūn is not just a tale from the past. It is a warning for every one of us today. We have seen how wealth, when paired with arrogance, can destroy a man. We have seen how pride blinds the heart. We have seen that no treasure, no power, and no plan can ever cheat Allah. So let this story live in your hearts. Let it remind you to be humble in prosperity, patient in hardship, and ever thankful to Allah for every blessing. And remember, every action you take, every thought you hold, every intention you hide in your heart, Allah sees it all. Do not let arrogance or pride guide you. Do not let the glitter of wealth replace the light of faith. If this story has touched your heart, then I have a request for you. Like this video to help spread this vital lesson to others. Comment below with your reflections. Share what you've learned so that others can benefit. Share this video with your family, friends, and community so the story of Qārūn continues to guide hearts across the world. And most importantly, subscribe to Wisdom from the Minbar and turn on notifications so you never miss these Quranic truths and life-changing lessons. I am your brother, Mallam JIJI, and I promise to keep bringing you the wisdom, the guidance, and the stories that remind us that faith, humility, and gratitude are our true treasures. May Allah protect us from the arrogance of Qārūn, guide our hearts, and strengthen our connection with Him every single day. Until next time, stay humble, stay grateful, and remember, no wealth can save a heart that is blind to Allah.